Hey guys, today I want to explain to you how the Maillard reaction works. So the Maillard reaction is where amino acids and reducing sugars, such as like glucose, is mixed with heat and creates melanoidins. Melanoidins are basically the flavors and aromas you get from coffee, such as like that caramel flavor and those nutty smells, the thing that makes everyone love coffee so much. However, the Maillard reaction takes place during the roasting of the beans, which causes volatile organic compounds to be released into the air, such as carbon monoxide, diacetyl, things that cause popcorn lung and other lung issues. So instead of doing that today, we're going to go ahead and do Cowboy Coffee. Some things you need today to do our Cowboy Coffee are 1 pot, your coffee beans of choice, some water, a pinch of salt, a measuring cup, a strainer or coffee filter, and then of course your favorite mug of choice. To start off our Cowboy Coffee, what we need to do is we need to measure out 2 cups of water. We need to add a pinch of salt. Next, we're going to need 1/4 cup of your favorite coffee beans. Bring your coffee and your beans to a boil. So during this process, the brewing process of the coffee, the Maillard reaction has already taken place. However, due to the heat being reapplied as we boil the coffee, we are going to get hints of that Maillard reaction melanoidins again. We're going to get that smell, and then when the coffee's finished, we're going to get that taste again. Stuff that's the result of the Maillard reaction previously when roasting the beans. Make sure to stir the coffee every once in a while so that the coffee grounds don't get lumped up in any sort of sticky stuff towards the bottom. Right about now, it's only been about a minute on the stove. You can already smell waft. Never stick your face directly over a hot or open substance, but waft the smell so that you can smell those aromas and flavors. There are over 400 aroma profiles in coffee beans. Each of these can be pulled out and experienced through different types of roasting techniques when cooking the beans and different types of brewing techniques when brewing the coffee grounds. This is how you get different types of roasted coffee, such as dark roast, medium roast, and light roast. Today I am using a medium roast coffee that has snickerdoodle. I like those sweet flavors, so I thought I'd give this one a try. Notice the froth that's coming up on the top of the coffee. That means we're almost there. We've got steam coming off the coffee now. That smell is getting stronger. You're able to smell it from further away. Looks like most of the grounds are dissolving into the water. We're getting some bubbles on the top here, so it looks like it's starting to boil. We're going to go ahead and bring it to a rolling boil today, which is where the bubbles will move pretty much all of the coffee. That sizzling sound, that means it is done. We're going to go ahead and turn the heat off here, and now we're going to strain it. For the next part of this, be very careful. We're going to take our strainer and we're going to pour the coffee over your favorite coffee cup. You should have about just enough to make 1 cup. And as you can see, we can see and smell the coffee now. Looks pretty nice in there, really hot. Now for the best part of Cowboy Coffee, drinking. Very hot, very hot. So Cowboy Coffee is actually going to be a little bit more on the nutty and the earthy side of aromas. If you want to look it up, there's actually an entire list of all the different types of flavors and aroma profiles for coffee. But the nutty, earthy tones, not exactly my style. But for Cowboy Coffee, if you remember, we put a pinch of salt in there. That's going to make it kind of stronger. It's going to make it a little bit more down to earth, you know? So hopefully you enjoyed your coffee. All right, so let's kind of get down to the molecular level and let's talk about it. I know earlier I said that the Maillard reaction is going to be when amino acids and reducing sugars are mixed with heat, which is what creates the melanoidins. So one of the reducing sugars in coffee is going to be glucose. I have pre-made this molecule for you guys to look at. Glucose is C6H12O6, which means that there are 6 carbons. It's going to be these black molecules here. H12, which is going to be the white, it's going to be the hydrogen. There are 12 hydrogens. And then there's going to be O6, which is going to be the oxygen. Oxygen is going to be seen here in the red. Kind of has that ring there in the middle. This is going to be your glucose, which is going to be the reducing sugar, the main reducing sugar in coffee. So when we are brewing and we're getting that smell and you're smelling the sugars, this is going to be one of them.
Alrighty, so I wanted to go a little bit more in depth on the Maillard reaction on the chemistry side and exactly what's happening inside the coffee. So as I was saying earlier, you're going to have your reducing sugars. And in coffee, the most common reducing sugar is going to be glucose. You're going to add heat. And then of course with your heat, you're going to add your amino acid. One of the really common amino acids in coffee is tryptophan. And this is going to give you, in this case, with the glucose and the tryptophan, you're going to end up with fructose L-tryptophan, which is also known as the Amadori arrangement. This is just a conglomerate of these two reducing sugars and amino acids combining with each other to create this. So here is your Amadori arrangement. I'm going to put AA for that, your fructose L-tryptophan. And then what's going to happen in the Maillard reaction is it's going to break apart. It's going to rearrange a couple more times here, go through a couple more processes, and you're going to end up with your melanoidins. This is going to be the profile that gives you that brown color in coffee, and this is going to be what we were talking about earlier. This is how we get there. So I hope you understand a little bit more about the Maillard reaction now and kind of how we start with sugars and amino acids and how we get down to the melanoidins.
So now that you've learned to make your Cowboy Coffee and you've learned a little bit about melanoidins, reducing sugars, amino acids, and all of that makes up the Maillard reaction. I hope you learned something today. I know I learned a lot more in-depth research by showing this video to you. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and thank you so much for watching. Go Pokes!